It's hot in here. Can you turn
just
the
me.
heater off? My goodness. Okay, we did Q&A on my Instagram stories. I think we're going to get through a lot of these because we can do some of them. Not this again.
I can't
have your toes touching me.
I don't like the clear straws because on more than one occasion.
Wait, no, this is for my water bottle.
Okay.
We have glass bent straws.
Anyway, that's worse because I don't see them. I forget they're there.
Stop.
And then so I'd like a colored straw.
Cool story. We actually do have nice, healthy plastic colored straws in there.
Where?
In the straw drawer, in the silverware drawer.
We have a straw drawer?
Dedicated
to
its straws.
I think not. My hands are cold.
It's been 25 minutes and we haven't even started yet. Okay, so...
What is this?
Well, some of them we're not going to answer because Miss Rachel, leave it to Rachel to put that in. But I think we can get through a lot. Some of them are repeats.
Miss Raquel, how dare you?
What was I going to say? I lost my train of thought.
So was this from a poll?
Did you not listen to my intro?
What intro?
My Instagram story Q&A box. So this is what the people want to know. And some of them can be rapid fire and some might need a little bit longer. So we'll try don't dilly dally if it doesn't need to be dallied so we can get through more. Okay.
Rapid fire?
I should have planned this a little bit more.
Is this a lightning round?
What should we even start with? Let's just start here. Do calories matter on carnivore?
Define matter.
I know. It's so nuanced.
Are you supposed to give shout outs to whom? I
don't know.
So-and-so from Alaska wants to know.
I don't know. Maybe they want it private. I thought about that too. I don't want to out anybody.
Okay. My gloves. It's cold. It's 47 degrees in the house.
I'm sweating right now.
Anyway, this is delightful. Do calories matter? Well, what's the goal? Is it a weight loss? I assume by the context of this referring to weight loss.
Well, because I think a lot of people say in this space, calories don't matter. Eat as much as you want. And then you have the calories in, calories out people.
But my point is if it's weight loss, because there are people going on purely for a health, meaning not weight loss reason, that don't need to lose weight.
I would assume this is stemming from weight loss question.
Yes. If you want me to not dilly-dally.
Yeah, something is in my tooth too. This is going to be between that and something in my throat. This is going to be amazing. Yeah, I think they do matter, but I think also and maybe not, but it seems like there's a little bit more wiggle room because of the ingredients and what you're eating. Maybe you can get away with eating more things because if you're eating the same amount of calories in Oreos, well, that's going to F up your hormones and this and that. You're not going to be healthy. So that could also give you some weight loss resistance.
We should have the live capability of just overlaying the math on the screen.
Oh, that meme where it's I might need to floss.
Stop it.
And cough.
Like anything, stop it.
I'm just really hot right
Take it
now.
off.
You got to turn this heater off. Are you good on that one?
Well, I mean, the whole hour could be on that.
Okay, but
no, look. If you are a larger individual and you have a lot of fat to lose, the calories are not necessarily that important to focus on if you are a strict carnivore, because you will by nature lose a lot of fat and weight off of that.
Especially in the beginning. You're saying
yeah, if you have a lot to lose. If you are stalling or if you don't have a lot to lose, you're just having trouble and you've been on it for a while, then I would look at macros and calories.
Yeah, but day one, yeah, that's a good point. Don't feel oh, day one carnivore, I need to track everything. Just start eating carnivore.
And you may gain a little bit initially, potentially. And you have to look at what's weight versus fat versus muscle, blah, 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 yada, yada, yada.
Okay. Can I eat steak raw? If so, does it have to be a specific kind or grass-fed?
You're more the raw dog than I am. I don't like doing raw stuff. I mean, there's steak tartare. I've had steak tartare. You can do that.
And carpaccio.
Sure, whatever. Now we're just making up words. Yeah, I mean, we can't tell anybody to eat raw steak. Disclaimer.
Yeah.
Hashtag.
None of this is medical advice.
Like anything raw, like sushi. Do you want gas station sushi or high grade sushi? It's raw fish. So I would say
sushi, baby.
if you're going to try to do that because you just have a yearning to do it, make sure it is of good quality. Not necessarily that doesn't mean grass-fed versus not, just where you're getting it from
Yeah.
is reputable and it's good quality if you want to do that.
I mean, I've eaten raw steak from Costco. A lot of people were not happy about that. I would say that's probably like not the best idea. Like you should probably get it from a local farm. Just it'd probably be a little bit better quality. But I don't. The whole grass-fed thing is a whole other topic.
It's like it's like anything. The inside of it. That's why technically a steak, all you have to do is sear it because everything's on the outside. The poop and everything, all that crap that comes through, it's on the outside. That's why ground beef needs to be cooked all the way through because it has exposure to all that. Yeah. The inside of a steak doesn't. So
I turned these on, right? Yeah.
I hope so. This is
driving me crazy. I've got like chicken in my tooth.
You're supposed to do a sound check.
I did while you were making that concoction. How long does it take for your body to start using your fat once you go off of carbs?
Debatable, but
a couple months even maybe to be fat adapted.
Yeah, there's ketosis and there's fat adapted. I wouldn't say a couple months necessarily. I would say maybe a few weeks to, I guess, in that monthish range.
And then it could take longer. I guess everybody's different.
Well, here's the thing: it will immediately. I mean, if there's no carbs, you're using fat. But there's a difference between using fat for energy as the only source and actually. Being fat adapted to where it's actually going for that.
Okay. How do you handle dinners out with friends or being invited to people's houses for dinner? You don't have any friends and you're good to go.
There you go. Don't give a shit.
Yeah, I mean unless they're vegan, like there's going to be a meat option there. So just eat the meat or tell them beforehand. We haven't had issues. I mean, we eat out. We've ate at friends' house. In the past, and no issue.
If you're concerned, eat beforehand, at least a little bit, so you're not there starving, and eat what you can eat. And if they're close friends or they know what you do, they'll either create something for you or they won't care when you eat whatever. I don't expect anybody, not to get into it, but what the other side typically expects. I don't expect anybody to cater to my dietary needs or wants.
Yeah.
I will eat what I can and want to eat and leave it at that.
Yeah.
Going out, this day and age, depending on where you are, it's pretty easy.
Yeah.
There you go.
Okay. I've got quite a few comments on Jeff, like why isn't Jeff carnivore? Was it hard to get him on board? Was carnivore. There conflict when Courtney started this way on eating? How did you get on board? So I feel like
rope-a-dope there.
Maybe they're newish here. I feel like.
What are you new?
Well, and I mean that in a way, like I feel like I almost say the same thing on any interview. Like, oh, how'd you get into carnivore? I'm like, oh, well, my husband was sending me Dr. Paul Saladino's TikToks and this and that. So yeah, like Jeff, actually, this is all his fault. He started it. He sent me the TikToks, and yeah, that Saladino was our intro to it. And then I'm like, after a month of watching these videos, like we never talked about it, and I'm finally like, why are you sending me these? Do we not need to eat vegetables? And you're like, I need to dig a little bit deeper. And that was it. So he started strict carnivore. My sugar addicted self started animal based. And yeah, I mean, you don't always stay strict. You want to talk about how you were eating chips in my ear last night and woke me up?
According to you, I burrowed inside of your ear hole.
I got startled awake by this sound, and I turn over, and I swear he's this close because he's like lounging in bed, like eating in my ear when earlier it was already a thing. Him just sitting up, eating over there. The chips were so loud. You know those people that like chew really loudly?
You know those people that are like
complaining about everything?
Yes. Well, it wasn't just chips. I needed them as a delivery vehicle for my chili cheese dip.
I know, because we don't have any spoons. I'm so sorry about that.
I'm sorry, what don't we have?
Spoons?
Spoons?
I know, I kind of like stuttered.
Spittoons? That wasn't a stutter.
What was it?
I don't know.
I have to cough. Sorry, I'm still getting over being sick.
What are we talking about?
Your chips. So yeah, he's carnivore, but he just goes off here and there. He'll have things and get back on track. No questions, but they're excited. I'm excited too.
What are we excited about?
This episode.
Oh
yeah. This is the Eat, Meat, and Question Everything podcast.
Eat meat.
What is your A1C? Do you know yours?
Middle.
Middle of what? Like 5-ish?
Yeah, I mean, I don't. It's every time I get it,
It's fine.
it's right in the middle.
Okay, so mine
5.1, I think.
pre-carnivore, mine was 5.9, so I was pre-diabetic, which like nobody told me. No one said anything
Why
about
would
it.
they?
And now it's
Hi.
5.1, which I guess is fine, but I feel like it could be a little bit better. That is that. Okay, here's a good one.
Should throw them like.
Yeah.
What's his name?
Tips to help my husband quit alcohol. He's a chef, so stressful job and environment.
And
Yes,
you're
and
not going to.
besides, no, I have some tips. Besides the stress, I feel like it's just so ingrained as part of the restaurant culture. And maybe not for him if you're like married and have kids at home, but I know when I used to work in the restaurants, it's like you close up and you all go out and you party
Yeah.
that night. But my tip would be the book, This Naked Mind. You can get it on an audiobook. I got it to try and figure out how to moderate my drinking. I had no intention of stopping. And just some of the things I was reading, I can't remember everything, but there was a lot of light bulb moments just on like what it's actually doing to you. And the one thing that does stand out that I think about often is nothing is good after that like first 15 minutes. You're just constantly chasing that feeling that you get. And yeah, what are your what are your thoughts? Are you glad I don't drink anymore, or do you miss it?
Absolutely no.
We used to have
Never.
fun though.
One of us did. Yeah, for 15 minutes.
I saw a TikTok the other day, and it was like some girl, and she's like, "Oh, you gave me a couple drinks to, you know, I forget how she worded, like, you
Boosting
know,
me up.
yeah." And then I threw an air fryer at you. And I mean, I don't think I ever did that. Just maybe a pizza in Palm Springs.
Pizza, yeah.
Definitely threw a pizza at Jeff. Yeah, I feel like it was always like good. We had a lot of fun, and then at the end of the night, it was just not even
Not
end
the
of the night.
Not the end of the night.
I know I was a bad drinker. I had fun. My heart is racing right now. I don't know why. Oh my gosh. Speaking of TikTok and how I'm feeling right now.
Nobody's speaking of TikTok.
I just talked about a video I saw on TikTok. People saying like my body can't tell the difference between sending an email or thinking that it's being kidnapped. And that's kind of like what I'm feeling right now. Like I'm like shaking right now. I feel like a little like fight or flight just answering that. Whew. Yes. Okay. So on to the next. Someone says, what are your favorite self-care activities to manage the intense demands of internet fame? That's so sweet, but it's also like, oh my gosh, ego boost. Hello. I don't do anything. And I think that's probably why I'm like so psychotic. It honestly, I was telling Jeff, I
tell you every day.
I know. And he's like, go take the day. And I feel like even going to get a massage, which I should go do, it feels like another thing on my to-do list.
Well, that's why your brain is broken.
It is.
You turn even good things into a list of things to do, and it fills your brain with anxiety. And you take one step and turn it into 1,000 steps, and each of those steps is as heavy as the first step.
Yeah, I'm easily overwhelmed. So yeah, I need to be better about that. I used to do like the morning pages and the meditating and this and that, but then sometimes I just kind of get so into like workaholic mode and need to like put my phone down, stop working, and go take care of myself. Did you already struggle with high blood sugar before you tried carnivore?
Don't know.
I don't know either. I never.
I know. That was for you.
Yeah. Well, did you?
I don't know.
You don't?
Struggle with high blood sugar?
I mean, you've taken Keto Mojo finger prick a couple times. I don't remember what it was. It was fine.
Yeah.
I never tested it while we were even like keto and stuff. Carnivore was the first time I've done that. I'm assuming so, right? If I was pre-diabetic, I'm sure it was not great.
Probably.
So the berberine is helping with that. Are you planning on coming out with another carnivore cookbook?
No.
So they offered, and I did say yes for a week. We had a meeting. We talked about what it would be. Very excited. Like I was on board, like very excited about it. And then I just realized, and I talked about this in another podcast, so I won't go too deep in the weeds, but I listened to this podcast that made me realize how stressful it was. And it's not so much the workload, but how my stress was affecting the family. It's a lot of work. So for now, no. in the future, maybe, but honestly, like, and I feel like I have more books in me, like I could, but I feel so stoked on this one that I might just be a one and done and just figure out other ways to show up. Like, I can still obviously put recipes out on YouTube or maybe even do like a small ebook for the holidays. So maybe something like that. I don't know if I'll do a full on book because not only the process, but then like marketing it and getting it out there and making sure that my publishers are happy with how it's going.
Yeah.
Like if I do my own ebook, okay, put it out there and 10 people buy it, like whatever, like
Mm-hmm.
no one else is disappointed, I guess, you know? So I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm getting like nervous and flustered. Years into marriage, how do you two keep it interesting?
Is that Rachel again?
Doing no, and you don't need to go to the gutter with this one either. I don't feel like we do. And I don't mean that like in a bad way. I feel like we're just so, well, no, I mean,
Where's my
we
thing?
just, yeah, it's hitting. We do what we do. I mean, you know, sometimes my mom will watch the kids and we'll have like us time and go do something out of the house. I think that's important. But I think it's more like just making sure you have the right person because.
Yeah, then you don't need to, not that you still shouldn't, but you don't need to
be looking for all these things to do. Like I'm perfectly happy just sitting next to Jeff in bed watching a show or even just scrolling on our phones. Like I think just being near you, you know what I mean? But I think that's like part of it. Like we're very simple. We don't do much and I'm happy. I don't know about you.
Yeah. And you know, we're still in the thick with the two small ones.
That's true. Yes.
Kind of seeing a little bit of a light there. And I know everyone says, oh, next stage, all that stuff, but just too busy. And
we're too busy to keep it interesting. We're just surviving each day.
No, it's all good. Yeah, we make the time. Your mom comes out, we go do things, work out, sort of.
Yeah, go to the gym sometimes.
Yeah.
That's about it. I mean, there's not many hours left when you're coming home from work. It's just like the weekends and then a couple hours at night to watch a show. I get
sucked into these podcasts.
Hey, this is it. This is how we keep it alive and interesting. We're bonding right now in the sauna that you have going on. Did you set it to 70 again? Okay. If you have something special coming up, what's the best way? No, you are not in charge of these to optimize weight loss.
Wait, what was the first part?
If you have a special like event coming up, like I would say fast. Jeff would say end of story right there. I would say even like an egg fast or a sardine fast, and one could argue that's disordered eating, but
it's not disordered eating, just fast.
People, okay, but if you're not going to just water fast and you do want to eat, maybe even just switching up your macros. Or I think the sardine fast or the egg fast would be really good.
Define coming up.
Like an event. Maybe you have an event.
Like
you. You just said you have a work trip coming up and you're like, what are you going to do?
Anyway.
What?
Nothing.
I'm not allowed to talk about that?
So what we should do is fast.
He doesn't have a work trip coming up. No. It already happened. I got a cough again.
As of the date of this airing. Yeah, just fast. Like, well, coming up, typically people, I would say within a month, usually is like, oh, I got this coming up. They want to lose something quick. Just fast.
I mean, not for the whole month, but dial it in, lift some weights, move your body. Is eating beef organs really necessary?
Necessary, no.
Could be helpful.
Yeah, there's a lot of good nutrients in there. Depending on the organ, you got to be sort of careful on overdoing it, but I don't think people really overdo it on organs.
Well, besides Saladino, wasn't that the whole thing on why everyone thinks he was not feeling good on carnivore because of vitamin A toxicity?
Maybe.
I need to still watch that. Judy Cho put out a video on him that I'm sure it's amazing.
I mean, yeah, they can be beneficial. They can give you extra energy, maybe fill in some nutrient gaps potentially. You can do the actual organs. You can do supplements if you want. If you're getting your blood work routinely done and you feel fine, I wouldn't necessarily do it. Though a lot of people I know on it says it gives them great energy. So, I mean, experiment with it, but learn what you're taking, see what you're taking, what it is, and take the right amount. But
Yeah,
Not necessary.
I take some once in a while. Like we have the organ supplement, so once in a blue moon, I'll take a couple capsules, not the 6 that it says to do.
Yeah.
Occasionally, I'll open one up in the kids' smoothie, but it's almost just like intuitively, like how you would maybe intuitively eat it. Because if you picture like your tribe eating a cow, like they're very, I don't exactly know the whole size, but it's not going to be that big compared to all the
Right.
meat that you're getting. So
Exactly.
you don't want to like overdo it because that wouldn't be like natural, I guess. Somebody says, "You look great. Why do you feel like you still need to lose weight?" Um, I still have fat. I still have fat that I want to go away. I mean, should I show them my stomach roll right now?
No.
I mean, you can say that you would agree, right? That there is
Yeah,
some fat.
I need to lose weight as well.
I mean, for me, like,
Yeah,
can you
everybody
at
still
least
has extra fat.
thank you. So at least like back me up on that because I do get that a lot, which is great. I feel happy with how I look. I think I look okay in clothes, but I just have a light layer of fat everywhere that I don't want to be there, especially in the stomach. I feel like it's kind of spread evenly, but like more so like in the stomach too. And there's quite a bit there. Um, so yeah.
And it is a health thing as well. I mean,
Yeah, it's not
the
just vanity.
because there's whatever you see, there's more. It's like an iceberg, the visceral fat, and that's
Mm-hmm.
what's around your organs. So you can't really get that out until you get you can't, just like you can't spot reduce. Oh, I want the fat on my arms gone, or it is what it is.
Yeah.
So getting that fat off, just the excess on the body, helps you move better for working out, exercising, getting it off of all of your organs. That's horrible for you. And the less fat you have, the more you're going to build up muscle. And we know, like, pretty much the number one indicator of longevity and health is skeletal muscle. The more muscle you have, more you can survive everything as we age, tripping, falling, car accidents, getting sick. The skeletal muscle is the biggest factor. So the more of that you have, the less fat you're going to have, ipso facto.
Alrighty. Lots of comments on weight loss stalls. I feel like I'm the wrong person to ask because I am constantly in one. But I guess, I mean, what has broken through a few of mine is just really sticking to macros, maybe even switching it up, but just tracking and being strict because, especially when you're getting down to those last 10 pounds,
Mm-hmm.
it's hard. You can't eat as much as you did before.
Yeah, work harder. I know you don't like that. Nobody likes that. And there's stalls, and there are reasons, and women with the hormones, and it's much more difficult than men. I get all that. I understand that. But at the end, especially when you're trying to lose that last 5, 10, 15 pounds, right? Work out more and eat less, or track, right? Track the macros, track the calories, because that's what you need to do, and work out more. Now you can't outwork.
A bad diet.
Right. You can't do that. But if you're doing that well and you're building the muscle and you're moving, you just got to do it more. I mean, it sucks. It is what it is.
Why do some feel satiated eating just meat and fat, and others can keep overeating it?
Why
Like we don't have an
are
off switch.
why are people born with a 200 IQ and some people aren't?
Right.
Why are there 7 foot tall basketball players? It is what it is.
But I think it's more to that, like digging deeper on
True.
why your hunger cues aren't working properly. For my understanding, it's like an insulin thing, a leptin thing.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of hormonal imbalances that could be playing a role in that, on top of just genetics of it. And I don't know enough to go into all that. But yeah, there's definitely things that could affect that. But at the same time, some people just have to work harder at it. Some people, just like whether you call it an alcoholic, or you're addicted to that, addicted to drugs, addicted to anything, gambling, whatever it is, there is that, I have a satiation issue, or whatever that case is, that may never go away completely for some people. and
Yeah.
and it sucks. It is what it is. You just have to deal and move on. But for a lot, I'm sure there's reasons, and they can be more difficult to find than others.
And like look into like dopamine and stuff too, because food can be another way to like get that dopamine hit.
Mm-hmm.
So finding joy elsewhere other than your food. Were your kids always carnivore? If not, how hard was the transition for them?
They're not strict carnivore, so I guess even not fully animal based. And so that we didn't really go from one to another per se. They've, I mean,
And
always been roughly that, except
well,
for the very beginning.
and it took a while for us to do that because we've also been, led to believe that we need like vegetables and stuff. So it took a while to be like, is this actually right? Like, let's experiment with ourselves first. We didn't just day one like stop giving our kids
Yeah.
vegetables, and they
Well,
never even really want them
a
anyways. But
perfect, sorry, a perfect thing here that just happened. Well, he used to love chomping on broccoli and stuff, but um, we don't go out of our way to give them vegetables. But for example, today we broke out and they got some Chinese food.
I know that makes me sound bad, but I tried to make it the healthiest version I could get.
So yeah,
Um,
it's got stuff that's not great. But my point being, it was a little bit of fried rice and some different chickens in there and whatnot, and whatever the teriyaki, whatever
the
that chicken
kung
is,
pao chicken had
broccoli and is it zucchini,
zucchini and
zucchini, all that.
onion and carrot.
So
Yeah.
I made him a bowl without all that, and he crushed it. And he went back. He said, "I'm hungry." I'm like, "All right, go get some more." And he came back and he filled it up with a few of those, and he's eating them.
Yeah.
So
He did eat the broccoli today.
again, they're
If they
mostly
want it,
meat.
I wouldn't
Yeah,
say no, but they don't
yeah,
want
they're
it.
mostly meat, fat, cheese, fruit, yogurt, um,
And the occasional treats.
occasional, yeah, and occasional bread.
Neighbor does
Sour,
sourdough.
yeah, but that's basically it. And then we talk to them, and they know what it is, and they're still kids. They've had sugar, and it puts their brains into crack mode, and they want more, obviously. But uh, you know, again, I was watching someone the other day, and this is not groundbreaking, but I was on something, and they're like, "Oh, my kids won't stop eating this and that," and he's like, "Well, where are they eating this?" They're like, "At home." I was like,
Stop buying it.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, what is that, liar liar, when uh the guy is calling. He's like, "Your client's in jail, needs your advice." He yells at him, "Stop breaking the law, asshole." So yeah, you can't control the world right now, but you can control what they eat at home. And I know it can be a fight, especially the older they are, when you quote unquote try to make that
Switch things
shift.
over. Yeah.
um, it can be tough, but you have to explain it in a way they might understand what it's doing to them, and be like, "Look," and at the end of the day, and believe me, I get it, it's tough, but you're the parent,
Yeah.
and you got to make that decision
And
if you want to do that.
you can get my cookbook. There's lots of fun recipes in there to keep it
Yeah,
interesting.
yeah. I mean, they love all the sweets and treats,
Well, I wasn't really meant that. Like I was talking about like
but
the pizza
right,
and lasagna and
yeah.
stuff. I don't really make sweets and treats. I
Well,
like
you
make
got
the
it.
ice cream.
Yeah, you got ice cream, and you got like a cupcake or muffin
Oh
or
yeah, I
cake
did
in
make the
there.
cupcakes
Yeah.
yesterday. All right, I'm out of it. Okay, do heart palpitations happen to a lot of people on carnivore? If so, what's the cause and how to fix? My understanding, it's an electrolyte imbalance. Either too much or not enough can
Yeah,
both cause that. Is there
yeah.
anything else that you know of?
Not really. I don't hear a lot of it. I mean, you hear more than me, but yeah, that's one thing. The SMP. Make sure you've got your sodium, magnesium, potassium at least dialed in.
And I guess this one could have been lumped in when we were talking about whatever we were earlier. Oh, keeping things interesting. But they said, how has being carnivore together impacted your relationship? Positive, negative, both?
I guess positive.
Well, yeah, it would be
Nothing
not
negative.
it would be not good if you weren't carnivore.
Right.
I feel like that would be so challenging. Like my heart goes out to those whose spouse is not on board because you're shaking the camera.
And
That
there's levels of not on board. There's do your thing, I don't care, I'm going to do this, which is still rough, especially if you have trouble with it and all that's still in the house.
mm-hmm,
Um, and then there's the actively against it.
mm-hmm.
That's a whole a rabbit hole to go down with that relationship. But
Yeah, that would be hard to not be. It's one thing if they like agreed with it but had a hard time doing it and still wanted to have things, but to
yeah,
not be on board with it too, like the whole message and all that, that would be challenging because that's a big like belief, I guess, to not be
yeah.
on the same page about. Let me see. Kids are moving around out there. Yeah, so I mean,
What was in the initial actual basis
how
of it?
has being carnivore together impacted your relationship? Positive, negative,
Yeah,
both?
positive because in at the end or the macro level of it, it's a so you want to call it a nutritional, a health
Mm-hmm.
movement. So it's about us being healthier together, and part of that, it opens up. It's the pyramid. It opens up doing cold plunges, working out. Basically, it's a getting healthy thing, regardless of what it is.
Yeah,
So
so it's yeah, doing a bunch of other positive things together
yeah,
too. Okay, I think that was pretty much it. Sorry, Britt, we had to skip over yours. Um,
she said with disdain.
to be continued on that topic that I have to edit out. Anything else you want to like add to anything? Any closing thoughts, final
Remarks.
thoughts? Yes,
Jerry Springer's final thoughts.
that's a throwback.
There's a throwback on what
Anything you want to tell the people?
the people. Not particular.
Same.
That was pretty much it.
Cool.
What was this about? Just a Q&A?
It was just a Q&A. I said,
Okay.
Jeff's going to be on the podcast. He doesn't know it yet. So give me your questions. And that's what they had for us.
Good questions. Yeah. Animals.
Any
Pet.
hoodle.
What's your
What?
favorite animal to eat?
Cows. Thank you.
Cows. Yes.
Okay, cool. Like, comment, subscribe. If you're listening on your podcast app, please rate it and leave a review. This is my only second time asking for that. And it shows.
I'll give a big woof woof out to Rachel.
She probably won't even watch this, but if that answers your question, Rachel.
I didn't say it was anything about a question. She was just opening it all up.
All right.
Now everybody knows.
We got to go. Goodbye.